Okay, today is September 12th. Doesn't really seem like I've gotten a whole lot done, and in reality, I really haven't. But the tail is now completely closed in. I've got the swivel bracket for the elevator in. Everything's completely bolted in, etc., etc. The only thing left to do is there's a bracket that goes right here, which is why those bolts are off, because it's easier to get the bracket in with one set of bolts out because the nuts are in the way. I'm just waiting for that primer to completely dry before I put it on, and it's getting late, so it can wait. There's nothing really to note here. This was actually pretty easy to do. It's just, yeah, I guess the only difficult thing is this has to be at a specific water line. So what I did is I got the entire fuselage leveled out with a known level or a known water line here, and then extended a large level out and measured up until I got exactly the water line that goes through the center of this to the right position, and then and that also allows you to figure out exactly the width of these, because this flexes just a little bit as you're putting it together. So that also acts as a good guide to, so you know that you've formed it to the right place. So that worked out really well. It actually takes a while because there's so many friggin' bolts. It's really solid though. I'm happy with that. Next job, and there's a bit of a mess in here because I'm getting ready to do the brace that goes in here and everything, which leads me to this. I got this out thinking that I was going to be able to get to it today, and that didn't happen. So may not actually get to it till next week. So that brace that I've mentioned in several videos now is actually finally going to get built. That's the plate that several of the pieces need to be cut out of. That one triangular gusset is for the front there as well. The other two are for up here, but they don't really go on until you get to one of the other steps. So basically, that's completely done, other than this one small piece that needs to go in. That's not dry yet, so I'll wait on that. So tail is completely done, or not the tail, the aft fuselage is completely done, and basically just the flooring, the brace, and the fuel lines that go up, down that way. So that is my progress report for September 12th. Today is Saturday, September 18th, and all of the screwing and everything for the entire fuselage is done. That includes this bit at the end with about 5,000 bolts in it. This was the last piece that I had left to do, so that's secured. I guess one thing I would mention is that is really close to the spar here, the nut for this plate here. What I would suggest doing, and what I did on that side, was just put it a little bit, if I can get it to focus, just a little bit further down. It gives you about another 1/8 of an inch of room, because the end of the bolt is actually just kind of kissing that with it completely fully tightened down. If I get the camera to focus, so you can see it's just kind of kissing that. The other one has a little bit of space, but they're both fine. So this entire piece is done. I guess the next step before I start doing the landing gear is this firewall. I just started priming it. I'm gonna put 2 coats of primer on it because this first coat is a little on the thin side. So I'm gonna put once this is dry, I'm gonna put another coat on it. And I think I'm going to actually I used a brush this first time, but I think I'm going to use a roller because it's just so large, and the brush tends to kind of as the paint thickens up, the brush kind of goes across the thing, and you got to smooth it out again. So I think a roller for such a huge piece of metal makes a lot of sense. And I've got a ton of them over there that I haven't used. I've been kind of saving them for the skin, but I think it would have gone a lot faster if I'd used a roller. And if I have to buy a bunch more rollers, who cares? So that's going to be going on the front here. So I've got to take, all of this stuff out, all of these bolts to put the firewall in, and then match drill the firewall, and then put all the bolts back. So that's going to be a party. Say hi, hon. So that's it. The fuselage is completely done. I've started priming the firewall. So once I get the second coat of primer on there, that's going to go on the front. And then this big, huge honking piece is the floor. I'll start putting that in. And these pieces here that create that weldment that goes in the front will follow that. It's probably a couple of weeks of work, even if I get out fairly frequently. This takes the better part of 2 days to completely dry. So just waiting for this to dry is going to take some time. But there's other things I can do in the meantime. I can start priming that huge piece there. I can start working on flaring the fuel lines and running them, all that good stuff. So I can kind of do stuff in tandem as I'm waiting for these really big pieces to dry. And this is only the top side. I haven't even done the other side. It's still covered in plastic. So I guess one thing I would mention is this is, because it's steel, it's really difficult to scuff. So you really got to get in there with a Scotch-Brite pad and really give it some gusto. Although this stuff, like once this primer sets up, it actually sticks pretty well. Not how it's going to stick to glossy metal is another deal, but it actually sticks to the metal quite easily. But you really want to give it something to grab a hold of. So you're really going to have to scrub this good with the Scotch-Brite pad to give that primer some place to stick. So that's it. The fuselage is completely done. As far as the frame goes, it's these last bits that I'll be working on, which will take a couple weeks. Hopefully I can get my hands on the landing gear kit and get started on that. One person recommended, and I tend to agree with them, go ahead and put the plate for the and I'll have to check and see exactly where it goes, but it's probably right here where the put the plate in for the tail wheel, if I ever want to go with a tail wheel, which also means like once you start doing the main gear, there's a couple of boxes that go in, obviously, to hold the main sticky outy things, whatever they're called, the main gear legs to mount on, and they had suggested that maybe just go ahead and put the boxes for both places. So if you ever want to do a tail wheel, you don't have to tear everything apart, and everything is already there. So I may end up actually putting 4 boxes in here. Of course, the the tail wheel, they'll be mounted farther forward than the tricycle gear. So I probably will go ahead and do that because it's not a whole lot of extra work or expense. And you know, once the skin is on, it's gonna be really tough to say, oh, I wanted a tail wheel, and rip all that crap out or try and get in there without you know, cutting any metal or anything. So it's probably a good suggestion, and I will definitely consider it. May happen, may not, but probably will. So anyway, fuselage is done. The last little bits are all that's left, and then on to the main gear. So that's my progress for September 18th. Thanks for watching.